Well, hello there. I hope you are well. Typically for me, this is take two. I've already recorded this once, and then afterwards my microphone had died again, so I'm just giving up with things. But anyway, we're here, start of 2024, or getting ready for 2024. So if you've been doing the stitching hour with me this year, thank you so much for joining in. Some people have done 2 years, some have done two and a bit, because we started it a little bit before with a trial run. But thank you so much. If you fancy joining in, I'm going to go through what the project's going to be for 2024, give you a little bit of an idea, and also give you some ideas of the things to start gathering together. So I got feedback from people as to the sorts of things that they would like to do. And it was a mix of things. So some people really liked working in the hoop when it was a really big piece of work and you just kept building on it and building on it. Other people preferred smaller pieces of work, a bit more manageable. You can take them out with you and do little projects. Other people wanted to do the books and wanted to do the scroll again. And I think I've come up with something that's a little bit different for people that want to do something different, but also you can adjust it to fit how you would like to join in and what you particularly like to do this year. So it's going to be 12 pieces of work that are 5 inches by 5 inches, and there's different ways that you can deal with this. I'm going to talk through what I'm going to do, and then I'll talk through different options and things like that. So idea came into my head because I had some canvases left over from when I used to do my stitch collages, and I thought, oh, rather than just leaving them or giving them to my kids to colour in, I thought, right, these would be really, really nice to do for a stitched project. So it's a 5 inch by 5 inch. It's a deep canvas, little box canvas. These ones are by Loxley. You can pick them up from like cheap arty crafty shops and things like that, or you can buy a bulk of them online, because obviously I'm going to need, well, I'm going to need 12, but I'm going to need 24 because obviously I'm going to do this one, which will be my sample for the tutorials, and then I'll do another one next year when I do my live. So 5 by 5. The reason that I thought that this is going to work is if you want to follow me and do 5 by 5, 12 5 by 5 pieces, you might want to get, they don't have to be the deep canvases, they can be shallow ones, they could just go into frames, they could just be mounted onto cardboard, and just do 12 individual bits of work that do come together as a piece. Because my idea with this is I'll probably get like command strips on the back so that I can put them on the wall and I can take them off and move them around a bit and sort of make like an actual piece of work, and it can evolve as time goes on. For those people that would like to do a book, you've got your book pages, they're 5 by 5, and it's up to you whether or not you want to make the book beforehand or make the pages and then make the book after. I won't be demonstrating bookmaking with this particular project, but on my YouTube there is the book that I did in lockdown that's got a book on there. So if you want to just look at a basic book, you could just flip back to that link and you can just have a look at that, or just put something together at the end. It's totally and utterly up to you. If you wanted to work on a piece a little bit like we did last year, you've got 12 blocks again. They're just 5 by 5. So you could do 4 across 3 down, 3 across 4 down, 2 by 6, and make all your blocks and then attach them onto a bigger piece of fabric, or quilt them together as you go along. Another thing that you could do is you could just do a 5 inch, well, a bit wider than a 5 inch, but about a 5 inch width, and then 12 blocks down, and you could get a bobbin or something at the top and have it as a scroll. So there's lots of different things that you can do. I'm going to work 5 by 5, but obviously if you want to work a different size, please feel free to alter your sizes. And I know some of you out there will do something that I've not even thought about. That's perfectly fine. I'm just giving you the prompt. So once you've decided on what you're doing, we then need our backing fabric. So I have gone for, I don't know where they've gone. I've gone for a linen. It's a lightweight linen. And I got this from Abercan when I went into Liverpool, if you've heard any of my wobble gobs. And it's quite a big piece, because what I will end up doing is this will get wrapped around my canvas and then I'll staple it onto the back so that it totally wraps the canvases. So that's my plan, which is why they've gone a little bit bigger. The other reason that I've gone a little bit bigger was that when I'm actually doing my stitching, I decided that I wanted to work in a hoop. So I've done my piece of fabric that's big enough for the 5x5, so it must be 5, maybe an 8-inch hoop. So my square will fit in the middle, and I've got a friction pen so that I can draw my template on, draw around my canvas so I know the size, or I'll make myself a template out of cardboard. But that then will go in there. I just decided that because it's quite a lightweight linen, I just want it stretched when I'm stitching, and it means it's just a little bit easy to work with because I don't particularly want it to scrunch in. And like I say, it's quite a lightweight linen, so I don't want it to distort or anything like that. So I've got 12 of those already cut. I'm keeping my background the same colour, but there's nothing to say that you can change it. You can't change it, sorry. So as we go through the year, you might choose a colour that fits with that season or that month. Or you might want to do it so that you start off with a very pale colour, and by the time you get to the end of the year, you've got like a dark colour, so you've like done a bit of an ombre, whatever you want to do. But I would suggest that this is a plain piece of fabric and probably not too thick, because we are going to be working on the top. The other thing that I'm going to have as well is a little bit of wadding, because I think that when I come to put this on here, I might end up putting just some little squares of wadding on the top, just so that it pads it out for me to wrap it round. But I'll have to see when I've done my first piece as to whether or not that is something that I end up doing. So the next decision, as if that's not enough, you need to decide on your colourway. So I think I mentioned this on a Wobblegum when I went to a scrap sale. I got a box of fabrics and decided to use these as my inspiration. So I took one of the pieces of fabric, and that's what gave me the inspiration for my background colour. I also like a yellowy green, limey green. And then using this as the other inspiration, I've pulled out bits of fabric from the box and also some bits out of my stash. So there's some fabrics that are a little bit like an upholstery fabric. There are some that are a little bit tweedy and a bit woven. I may not use all these because they might not be suitable. I need a few plains. Again, I've got some wools. And then I've got some plain pieces. Then I've got a few Liberties. I've got some from Kaleidoscope. That's a batik. And I will probably, once I get started, I have a scrap basket that I have on my windowsill, and I'll probably pull that out and get bits and pieces out of that as well, because we're only working 5x5, so they're only going to be small pieces. So I wouldn't normally get new fabric for this, but this isn't really new fabric. It's not. They're like samplers out of old books, or they're old bits of curtains. So I'm still upcycling bits and pieces. So that's my fabrics. Then once you've got your fabrics, then you want to pull together a selection of threads. So I've got my Shipier's wools, I've got some DMCs, I'll probably get some silk threads out, and my cottons and all sorts as we go along. Obviously this will get added to. Basic sewing kit. So I've got my scissors, pins, range of needles. And then the other thing that you're going to need, because I just thought we've done a lot of stitching, it'd be quite nice maybe to bring a bit of mixed media in. I've just got a little tester pot. It's called Intense Blueberry, of a bit of a contrasting colour, because I thought as we're going on, we might do a bit of printing or something. We're not going to, I don't think we're using this straight away, but if you've got, I don't know, a fabric paint or an acrylic paint or something, or you know that when we get round to that, you'll be able to go and just grab something. I've just got my little tester pot of paint there. Yeah, so I'm ready to start. It's quite exciting. Bit weird because it's September and I'm talking about next year, but I want to crack on with my sampler so I can give you a bit of an idea of what we're going to be doing. I'm going to do my tutorials that I record in colours, and then the one that I actually do next year for the stitching hour, the live one, I'm going to do a monochrome so that you can see the difference between using colour and sort of eliminating colour. Or I might do monochrome with an accent colour or something like that. Just so I've got a bit of a contrast, which is why I'm going to end up with 24 squares by the end of next year. Yep, but I just thought actually as a piece of work then you can mix and match and they can go all over the place, and they will all be slightly different even though we'll be using very, very similar techniques. So if you're interested in joining in next year, this is held over on my Ko-fi page. Ko-fi is a subscription service. So the stitching hour, it's £10 a month for the 12 months. And unfortunately at the moment they don't do a year-long subscription. I keep asking them because I know people abroad, because you've got that conversion rate and stuff like that, it would be handy to be able to pay in one go. I will ask them again, but it's not one of the things I don't think that a lot of people have been asking for, so it's not really something that they've looked into, but who's to say it won't be. And for that you get the 52 challenge. Whether or not you want to do it, you get it on a Friday. And the stitching hour is the recorded tutorial. There's a live stitching hour, usually the first Monday of the month, unless something's going on and I can't quite get there. It's usually 6 till 7. And then there is the stitch and chat. Not still not quite sure yet how I'm going to do that next year. Still would like to do it because it's the lovely community, got some lovely people that come regularly, but it'd be nice for other people to be able to access it as well. So I'll probably end up, by the time that you see this, I'll have asked a few people as to what they would like to do, and I'll have a bit more of a better idea of how the stitching hour is going to run. So that's it, getting ready 2024. I hope you're going to join in. If you do decide to continue your subscription and you would like to continue to next year, you don't need to do anything. Your Ko-fi subscription will just keep running until you cancel it. If you decide that you're not going to do it next year, I'm so sorry to see you go, but totally understand that not everybody either's got the time or the finances or whatever it is. But you can manage your subscriptions when you log into your Ko-fi page and you go to the More button and payments, and you can manage your subscriptions from there. If you would like to join in, because I'm doing this and showing it on YouTube for those people that might not have heard of my Ko-fi subscription, just a thing to note is once you subscribe, it doesn't wait until January to start taking money. It will take money straight away. If you subscribe early on, you'll be able to have a look back at things that we've done, just see how the Ko-fi page runs, just get your head round it. When you do subscribe, you get a link email and you need to verify your account. And to access my page, you need to make sure that you are logged in to your Ko-fi. So when you log into Ko-fi, you actually create a page for yourself, and from there, that's where you subscribe to me. If you're not logged in, you won't get access to the content. So if that is a problem, if you're not getting access, just double check that your tablet or whatever, computer, phone, is actually logged into your account so that you can access it. Yeah, so if you want to start in January, then subscribe in January. If you do subscribe beforehand, you will get charged from the day that you subscribe, and the day you subscribe, it's taken out that same day every month. So that's it. There'll be another video that you can see the 52 challenge on, and I look forward to seeing everybody in January. It's quite exciting. Bit weird filming this in September and talking about next year because we don't know where we're going to be or what we're going to be doing. But there we go. I'm quite excited. When I finish this, I am actually going to start the next block. So that's quite exciting. So as usual, everybody, take care. Love, hugs, happy stitching, and see you in 2024.